Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Freedom to Speak Easy podcast, where there is no prohibition on the First Amendment. And Mark Rizzoli with me, Anthony Diamarin here. And Mark, I'm going to get right into it. And I'll tell you, we're subsidizing these tenured professors. One in particular, Rutgers University, Brittney Cooper. The words that for just to give some people idea of what some of the things she has said in the past. She first of all demonizes capitalism. She said she uses phrases like, if things were between, and I quote, the dopest chick in the room, they would still choose the mediocre white man in the room.
Well, listen,
she is the bigot, in my opinion.
well, I think everybody out there needs to remember that $1 billion dollars of taxpayer money goes to Rutgers to
Absolutely.
subsidize this. So we're subsidizing all this insanity of Rutgers. And it's not just that. Right now, you have the Rutgers. That's basically the teachers are threatening to go on strike. They're using the students as leverage. There's all kinds of posts being put up about Revolution New Jersey supporting it and everything. Listen, the job action is not a revolution. At the end of the day, and of course, right in the middle of this is Randy Weigand, the national president of the teachers union. She's the woman who single-handedly was involved with prolonging the school lockdowns nationwide.
Right.
So she has no problem at all, interfering with students and their education.
Mark, parents out there that are sending their children, forget about parents, taxpayers. If you're a taxpayer in the state, you're subsidizing this stuff at Rutgers, okay? And this woman she's got hatred in her heart. You could feel it. I don't think there's a single thing she likes about our country.
Well, listen,
what does she like about our country?
Well, listen, you got to do a little history on Rutgers recently. In 2014, they protested Condoleezza Rice going there. So obviously, it's selective.
Right.
If it was truly about racial things, listen, Condoleezza Rice is a successful black woman who was blocked from going there, so she would.
Who's an incredible woman.
Right. There was so much protest going on, she went through from that commencement. But in 2020, Rashida Tlaib was allowed to speak at Rutgers. Right.
As
we know, a member of the squad.
Yes.
Anti-Semite.
Absolutely.
Anti-law enforcement.
Absolutely.
She hates this country. She's a member of Congress, an elected official.
Right.
Who's supposed to be representing American citizens, but she wants to see this country fail.
Yeah, she's a radical
nut.
Yeah, she's a radical nut.
In 2019, if you recall the terrorist attack in Jersey City on the Jewish market.
Yes, I do remember.
So while the terrorist attack was ongoing, she tweeted out that it was white supremacists that were engaged in it, when actually it was the black Hebrew Israelites that committed that terrorist attack.
It's things like it's people like Brittney Cooper, Brittney Cooper. Okay, Rutgers tenured professor. It's almost impossible to get rid of a tenured professor.
Listen, she's the same one that said, white people are committed to be villains. Let's take the other efforts out. I mean, the fact that she's allowed to continue to teach children, young adults rather, it's just preposterous. And we're subsidizing.
Well, she claims to be a cultural theorist. I don't it's like they create these different jobs, different types of classes to suit somebody like this. It's
listen,
amazing.
She is obsessed with CRT and communism, which they're preaching out at Rutgers, has overwhelmed that university. They're one of the most liberal universities in America right now.
Right.
By far.
When she says things like, white people, we want to own time. This is a quote. If time had a race, it would be white. Okay, and she believes that we white people we are afraid of losing power. We own time and history. Well, she doesn't understand her own history herself. She doesn't know. What about the Civil War? I mean, we fought a civil war, massive casualties to end slavery. And she claims that this is a gradualist. She don't want to be gradualist. Now, it's not fast enough for her. It's not moving fast enough for her. So I asked Brittney, what does your utopia look like? What does it look like?
Well, listen, when you listen to someone like her, I don't hear her speaking about the violence in Chicago.
Terrible.
How many black youths are dying every weekend? Black kids, in shootings, adults, robberies, carjackings. If Black Lives Matter, where are all these people about Chicago?
Absolutely. I would love to see Rutgers.
She's a hypocrite.
She is a hypocrite. I would love to see Rutgers bring on somebody like Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, a great man.
He's not allowed.
He's not allowed. So it seems like it's a partisan.
But here's what people need to know in Middlesex County. The Middlesex County Democratic Organization,
Mm-hmm.
The chairman, Kevin McCabe, he dispatches his cronies there, to go in
Right.
there and recruit people.
Right.
So I mean, the entire campus is under siege with this CRT, the radical Democrats from within the county here. So no one should be surprised. But listen, just remember how Rutgers treated kids.
I know.
Mask mandates,
Yep.
vaccine mandates. How many kids?
They-
How many kids withdrew from Rutgers because they were being forced to get a vaccine? It
Mark-
doesn't even work.
Mark, recall everybody's memory here. Wasn't it Rutgers University that wanted students to get the vaccine before they could return to school? Mandatory.
Even if you were taking virtual classes.
Even virtual classes.
Yes.
Sickness. I mean, Rutgers
Yes.
for all.
And not only that, don't forget, Rutgers, Phil Murphy is providing free tuition for illegal aliens to go attend Rutgers. So that they're getting money from every which way from they're getting tax.
I wonder what Brittney Cooper thinks about open borders and immigration policy here with letting people in, because you know who it hurts, Brittney? It hurts the people in the urban communities. Okay, it hurts those people, and that's just a fact. Okay, so you need to close the border. But she's an ignorant, as we call ignoramuses.
Yeah.
That's what she is. She is a professor. I'm pissed off that I'm subsidizing her damn salary and her pension.
She's been getting promoted. She's been moving up the chain.
Rutgers seems like they're timid. They don't even want to touch this with a 10-foot pole.
Oh well, Rutgers has embraced this Marxist views on this thing. You know what's funny? They all talk about whether it's white privilege or whatever privilege, but they don't understand this. Being American and citizen is a privilege.
Right.
And
right.
Could she go to another country and conduct herself?
No. That's the thing.
Not.
Why don't she get up and leave then?
Right. If you don't like it, go try to go to China and try to bash China. See what happens. See how the CCP would react to you. Or go to Russia. See how Putin would react.
I always go to when you're around little children, little children. And we dropped the little one off of daycare, and you observe them with other kids. They don't understand any race. They don't see people as that. So the idea that you're born with this inside of you is a joke. It's an absolute. No. You're taught racism, like we all know. It's either you're taught in the household or you're taught in social settings. But little kids prove that point every single day. They don't not play with a colored person or a white person or whatever it may be.
Listen, you see on the record the fact that Condi Rice was basically forced to withdraw.
Right.
It's all about politics.
It is. It's disgusting.
But you allow a hate monger like Rashida Tlaib on campus to speak.
Right.
So that says all you need to know.
Her comments about law enforcement, how they're targeting, as she put it, black folks, and it's ending in basically it's ending in carnage, and it is disgusting that she is causing. So she's part of the problem, in my opinion. She causes a lot of this crap that goes on. A lot of this. Movement on pushing back against police and law enforcement. It's a joke. It's scary. Okay. And in my opinion, again, she is the bigot. She is the racist herself, to be honest with you. And I'd love to, Brittney, come on, defend yourself.
Brittney, not even just about Chicago. What about like Baltimore?
Right. Oh, it's absolute disgrace.
And where the public school system down there is a complete disaster.
They had
kids can't read or write.
They had I think it was maybe 2 years ago in Baltimore. Not math. Everybody everybody failed. Like everybody across the board.
20-something schools.
It was incredible. Everybody was failing math. I mean, listen. You want all these kids to succeed because they are the future. They are going to be our leaders someday. Okay, they're going to have to and pass it off to their next generation. So this idea though that you have to, that we all were on power, we're in power, whatever. You had a black president here. Okay, you had a black president who was elected twice. Okay, he was elected twice. All right, you have a black vice president now. Okay, a female vice president. If you're then you got the idiots of all idiots in the White House. All right, let's be honest. It's just incredible.
Listen,
Nobody cares that he's only people like this end up bringing up race.
Listen, moving forward, we're gonna basically show how Rutgers is now expanding into the public school system in New Jersey, promoting communism.
Yep.
That's gonna be coming up soon on a couple shows coming up.
Yes, looking forward to that one.
Finishing up our research and everything, but Rutgers really has become an institution that's really gone so far left and woke. It's not a great place to learn right now.
It is
at least if you go in there and you want to keep an open mind. I mean, if you're not to the left with their ideology, you're gonna have a problem at Rutgers.
I want to shout out to some of the students over at Rutgers too, because I'll tell you why. I went to rate my professor, Mark.
Uh-huh.
All right, rate my professor. Now I don't take this. I like reading it because I have a lot of teachers in my family. So I rate. It used to be like rate my teacher, or whatever. But rate my professor. She had there was like 30 different people ended up scoring it, and the worst one was awful. The top one was awesome. 23 awefuls, 5 awesome. The things that, and you read some of these comments, how she's got real hatred in her heart, but I mean, if you're a parent, you want your kid to be in a class with this type of woman. I mean, I don't want my tax dollars going to subsidize her. She should be gone.
Well, listen, Rutgers has zero accountability.
She's a
Zero accountability, Rutgers. They do whatever they
she's
want.
a bully. That's what she is.
I mean, they waste taxpayer money, whether it's the football program. Remember they were going on that.
Right.
Their DoorDash and all other stuff. They're ordering food and
Right,
everything on
right.
taxpayer dime.
Yep.
I mean, there's just zero accountability there, and it's a shame how taxpayer money is being spent there.
It's
While they do more for people in this country illegally than they do in-state kids.
It's sad. It really is sad. But we'll touch, like you said, we're going to be touching more on this going forward, especially Rutgers, public education, and everything else. And Mark and I are advocates for public education. We're advocates for school choice.
Well, listen, that's exactly. We need school choice because the public school system needs competition.
Yes, it does.
This way we can get this under control because
Absolutely.
right now the public school, it's really spiraling out of control.
And we ask those parents that are like-minded, join us. Please join us. Subscribe to our YouTube page. We're growing. But more importantly, we need the pushback. Whether and this is for Brittney. Whether you're black, white, brown, yellow, green, red, blue, it doesn't matter.
Isn't it kind of ironic that Rutgers is red?
It does.
Right? It kind of fits in.
The oldest university, or one of the oldest, at least. But well, listen. Before we end this podcast today, we do what we call the last call. The last call. Mark and I get up to 1 minute to talk about any topic we like to talk about. And of course, Mark, what say you first?
Yeah, big shout out to the residents of Chicago. Glad to see you finally woke up and voted that emotionally disturbed mayor out, Lori Lightfoot, who claims that she lost because of racism. No, you lost because you failed your residents, okay? You put your political ideology before public safety. And people don't realize, all these woke politicians, that public safety drives your local economy. Right. And their local economy has gone in the shitter thanks to that incompetent, emotionally disturbed mayor. So glad you all woke up out there, and glad you probably sent a message, and maybe you finally woke up the radical Democrats, because their ass kicking's coming soon too.
Well, Mark, thanks for that. I appreciate it. That is right on, spot on, my man. My last call here. We're going to stick to a local issue. I want to give a shout out to our new fire chief here in Edison, Andy Toth. Andy, he's a very, very good man. I got to know him very well when I was special assistant to the mayor under the previous administration, and I can tell you, he's a hardworking guy. He's somebody that really, his heart's in the right spot. I'm telling you that. He's a good dude, and I think you're gonna. I think Edison has especially the fire department is in a much more secure place. Congratulations, Andy. He's got an incredible story himself, Andy. And one day I'd like to talk to him about it, bring him on. He's agreed to maybe come on with us at some point. But Andy's he's got an incredible story. But I consider him a friend. He was OEM director as well. He did things that you wouldn't imagine. When there were storms coming in, he was out there. When I was special assistant, we were in constant contact. We worked on many things together. So I'm happy to see Andy become fire chief, and I wish him the best of luck. All right.
And don't forget, everybody, make sure you vote. Vote by mail. Use the early voting process.
Yep.
You never know when the machines are going to go down, especially here in Middlesex County.
Right. And
despite what they say, we have machine problems here.
Absolutely. We're going to touch on that more in the future. And we're going to say, please join our YouTube page, Freedom to Speak Easy. YouTube page, Freedom to Speak Easy, or freedomtospeakeasy.com. We'll talk to everybody very, very soon. See you all later.
Have a good night.
1, 2, 3 to the groove, come dance with me. Swing out, jive in. Come on, honey, show me how you move it. Swing out, jive in. 1, 2, 3 to the groove, come and dance with me. Swing out, jive in. The party don't stop till we drop. Come on now, swing out.